What's up, everybody? Dr. Jeff. I'm in downtown Los Angeles, flying back to Costa Rica tonight on a red eye. So out here hanging with some family. So anyway, who do I trust? Me. That's who. The reason I have this as a topic is because, we've been given a lot of advice by a lot of people over our lifetime. And these people have good intentions. Sometimes they're family, sometimes they are medical professionals. Sometimes they're psychologists or therapists or friends, whatever. And, a lot of this advice is not that it's bad, but when something doesn't resonate with you, it's not going to really connect and help you get what you need. When I was doing the therapy, receiving therapy for, which was a requirement of my doctoral program, I had to get 65 hours of my own therapy to work with patients and to get my doctorate. When I was doing that, my therapist, who was really good, she was actually awesome. She was telling me all kinds of really insightful stuff and good things that were true and all kinds of stuff that made sense. But it didn't really resonate with me. So I didn't take it much into consideration. And it just, intellectual understanding of something is just kind of like part of it. I didn't feel it. I didn't feel what she was saying. And when I did plant medicine for the first time, it all sort of clicked and made sense for me because I actually felt what was happening in my past and I was dealing with in my current life. So I believe that it's important to trust ourselves. Now, we often feel confused, overwhelmed. Sometimes we don't have confidence. I talk to a lot of people that say that they feel they don't deserve to be healed or happy or healthy, because of their own trauma and their own history, right, and their own abandonment issues. So those people, right, are struggle with, what to do because they don't trust people, but then they also don't trust themselves. And that's kind of a tough place to be in. Now, luckily, when I was growing up in LA, and I'm in downtown right now, so I'm about 3 miles from where I grew up, it was good for me not to trust people because I was actually getting really crappy advice. But a lot of you guys are getting good advice, but it's still hard to trust because it's not you. And so those people that don't trust others and don't trust themselves are a little bit of a bind because who do you trust, right? And who's going to really, help you get what you need out of life? Well, that's why it's important to connect with yourself in a way that you can lower your guard. Now, there's a lot of ways to lower your guard. You can lower your guard by talking to a therapist. You can lower your guard by talking to somebody that you feel safe with. But the problem is that can take a really long time. So in order to, I had patients in LA that this one particular patient took 5 years to lower her guard with me. And that's just way too long. So what I recommend is doing plant medicine because you can lower your guard in a couple days, even a couple hours, and you get right to the bottom of it. A general consensus about what I hear with plant medicine, with the guests that come to Rythmia, is that it's really hard. Now, it's hard in the sense that there's a lot of emotional processing that's happening. There's a lot that's going on. Well, yeah, and I say absolutely it is hard because you're doing, 50 years or 40 years or 60 years or however old you are and how many years you've been dealing with rough things. You're doing all this processing of emotion in a week. So it is hard. However, what we're providing at Rythmia is a really safe environment to do this. And we have our Rythmia tradition. We believe that the way that we're doing the plant medicine and the way that we are doing our program with the classes and all the integration and the way that our holistic plant medicine staff, plant providers are doing it is the most beneficial way. And the reason we believe this is because we're collecting data on the results. And to my knowledge, no other place in the world is collecting data on the success rate or the follow-up success rate of any of their guests. Now, that's just to my knowledge. Maybe there are people doing it, but I don't know about it. And I got my finger pretty much on the pulse of what's happening out there. So maybe there are some people, and I would love it if they were, because the more the merrier, right? The more healing goes on for everybody, the better. And I'm happy if you get healing in Timbuktu, wherever you go. That's great. If you get healing, it's awesome. When I was in the addiction field, working at Passages Malibu, where I was the director, that was a non-12-step place. And so we got a lot of heat from 12-step places. But I would always say, hey, if 12-step works for people, then they should do it. Whatever works is what should happen. So the topic of this Facebook Live is that if you trust yourself, or if you don't trust yourself because you don't have the tools, you need to get plugged into yourself. And the way to do that, the quickest possible way that I've seen, and I've seen every single type of modality that exists out there in the Western medical model, also the holistic world. I've been deep involved in all this stuff for decades. And the quickest way that I've seen personally is with plant medicine. And I know that that's a great way to do it fast. Now, you guys don't want to drag this out. You don't want to be in pain, whether it's emotional or physical pain. You don't want to be in this position for long. It's the society tells you that if you have a long history of doing things incorrectly, then you have to pay back some sort of weird thing and be in traumatic, uncomfortable space for just as long or longer. I don't agree with that. I believe that we go through phases in life that are hard. We go through stuff that is rough, and we have the tools to deal with it at the moment, and sometimes we didn't have the tools. But you shouldn't be punished for stuff that, you went through for many years, whether that's addiction or mental health issues, anxiety, depression, trauma, whatever it was. We want to get to the bottom of it and heal it right away. So the best way to do that is plant medicine, in my opinion, in a program that has a safety net for you, and a supportive environment with people that are really good. And people that aren't good can also do okay things, but at Rythmia, we have a really good staff, as you guys know that have been here before. We have a great staff, and that's important because, the staff have to be healed themselves. And sometimes we get staff that aren't healed, we don't know it at the time, but it kind of kicks them out because they, the process kicks them out, the energy, and not in a bad way, but in a way that's they got, the staff have to be healed themselves to a certain degree. And, we've had staff come through here, just like any facility where the people are not, they're just not healed enough to be able to work with others. And that's okay, because we're all learning and we're all in a process of growth. And those people don't last that long at Rythmia. And if they do, they get to a point where they're kind of overwhelmed and they move on. And that's okay. We stay friends with all of them, and, we have positive vibes for them. But, if somebody thinks that they're going to be a healer or a person that's here to facilitate healing for somebody, and they themselves are not healed, and they blame everybody for their own problems, which, is part of life. We see people that do this. That's not the environment we need for healing. What we want for healing is a place that's client-centered, that's all about the guests. You guys that have come to Rythmia, that are going to come, that are thinking about coming, you guys are the priority. You guys are number one. You guys are who we're focused on, because we believe that the world changes one soul at a time. And in order to get this healing going on for the world, we need to just each of us do our work. There's a ripple effect. Others feel our vibe. Others feel our change. They want to change. Healthy stuff is contagious. And there's people that are all in their different process and their different path. Some people just aren't ready. It's okay. But in order to do this work, you got to trust yourself a little bit. I always tell my guests, the people I worked with, my patients in LA, all I need is a hint of internal motivation, and then the rest will grow while you're in the program and in the process. So you don't have to be totally on board with, you can do it. Just get it. Just have the desire. That's it. That's all you need. Just a hint of internal motivation can do this. So we're excited to have you guys come down here. Who do I trust? Me. That's who. I trust me, and you should trust you. And if you don't trust you, come down to Rythmia and we'll help you learn how to do it, because you are the captain of your own ship. You can guide this how you want to go, and that's the goal, to each person have confidence and feel grounded and do their own work. All right, guys, Pura Vida. I'll be back down in Costa Rica tomorrow morning. I'll do my next Facebook Live from beautiful Rythmia. Right now, we're in downtown LA. Check it out. I'm on Broadway right here. You guys see it? I'm in downtown. This is dope. I love downtown. All right, guys. See you later.